Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Fourth and Long podcast. Today I am joined once again by the bald beast, Jalen Johnson. Say what's up, buddy.
Hey, I'm not bald anymore, really.
It's really soft here. I'm really confused.
Yeah, it's a nice full head.
No
of hair
homo
now.
though. No homo.
I feel like we don't have to keep calling me the bald beast. The people haven't seen me
I don't give a shit.
bald ever.
Jalen. I don't care.
I'm not bald, guys.
Okay. Today we're doing our recap of the wild card weekend here in the NFL. It was filled with actually 4 really good games.
Yeah. We were supposed to do a preview. I ended up getting really sick and lost my voice,
Jalen's
so we couldn't
pussy.
do a preview. But you guys are gonna get our review and then our preview for the rest of the playoffs.
Yep, we're going to give our predictions about the divisional round, and also you're getting our Tom Brady take at the end of the show. But we're going to start things off by looking at the AFC playoff games, which took place on Saturday. The first game of the day was the Buffalo Bills at the Texans. Houston Texans. What the fuck? But this was a game where the Texans won 22-19 in overtime.
After being down 16-0.
Yeah, I was about to say. So we got a dominant first half by Buffalo. They were up 13-0 at halftime.
Yep.
Josh Allen at halftime was the game's leading rusher.
Yeah.
Which, who the hell would have thought that in the first drive of the game alone, Josh Allen would have like a 40-yard rushing attempt.
Yep.
Then also catch the game's first touchdown pass.
First touchdown, then he did his little John Brown dance, which I think no one should do that dance other than John Brown.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought
it was a nice little touch.
It was a good chuckle.
Yeah, it was a nice little ha-ha.
Right. But yeah, there is that first half, but the second half was almost entirely the Houston Texans. The Bills' offense went stagnant, and the Texans really picked it up. J.J. Watt actually looked pretty solid in his return to the game. He recorded 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and a couple QB hits. But besides those numbers, he had a bigger effect on the game than just the numbers might suggest.
Definitely.
The Josh Allen felt his presence almost
After that
every
first
drop
sack,
back.
he was pretty much just, especially those last couple of drives of the game, J.J. Watt was pretty much just in his face. Even though they didn't count the QB hits, a lot of them were just like QB pressures in general.
He had pressures.
He was
He
just
also
right
almost
there.
had that interception the ball literally went right through his hands.
Right through.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, it literally comes like that. It's a game of inches, and being off by an inch can cost you a
Sometimes
game.
you just get really unlucky.
Exactly.
Man, I would love to see a J.J. Watt pick 6 in his return, but we're NFL fans, and we can't have anything nice.
True. And just so you guys know, on Twitter, I did say that at some point in these playoffs, a special teams player is going to score a touchdown. More specifically, I said a kicker or punter, but I'll be happy if just a special teams touchdown happens.
And trust me, guys, Jalen knows his special teams because he's one special person himself.
I am pretty special. My mom says I am.
Okay. Also, late in the game when the Texans were trying to send this to OT, you had Deshaun Watson with a absolutely unreal sack evade.
Yeah.
Where he had 2 guys hitting him at the same time, and somehow he didn't get tackled.
Yeah, one guy kind of fell backwards. The other one kind of just fell off after they...
Was a cornerback blitz by the Bills?
Yeah, and it was a linebacker blitz too. And the linebacker got there. They kind of hit at the same time, but I feel like they kind of hit each other too. So one fell backwards, the other one kind of fell off, and then Deshaun Watson kind of just...
It was embarrassing.
Away.
It is a Bill. If you're looking from the Bills standpoint, it's embarrassing as hell. But if you're looking from Deshaun Watson, that is one of the most crazy plays he's made in his career.
But just, saying shout out to other AFC teams, I got the secret to beating the Texans, yo. You want to know what it is? Form tackling. If you just finish your tackle like we're taught in junior program football, wrap up. Even if you want to do good old wolf tackle, and then turn your body, wrap. Tackle and grapple. They should have gone to school to tackle and grapple.
Who the hell would have thought that in the NFL, you're going to be a better team if you tackle?
Nobody.
Not even Bill Belichick knew that.
But honestly, a couple of games in the first week of the playoffs could have easily gone the opposite way if someone just made a tackle. And a lot of the time, it wasn't like, oh, they got juked and they missed a tackle. It was they tried to hit somebody and didn't wrap up.
Hey, you guys, come to balance, get your base, get the hips going, head up.
Seagrass, tackle grass.
Oh, thank you. I swear, are we going to have to start coaching these guys? What the fuck?
Exactly.
I mean, to be fair, I am a actual coach.
I've coached before. I'm not a current coach. I'm a current player.
I am a legit coach, and I can teach tackling. Trust me, I know a lot about tackling drills. That's
Tackle
where I
and
shattered
grapple.
my collarbone.
You come to the 4th and long school of tackle and grapple.
Logan, I know you're listening. Fuck you, buddy. But much love.
Tackle and grapple.
Fuck off.
For the remainder of the show, I will be saying tackle and grapple at
please
random
stop.
points.
Let's get back on track, please. But yeah. After that Deshaun Watson sack evade, that led to them tying the game up and sending it to OT. They were kind of back and forth
Was that for OT. I thought that was for the win.
No,
that wasn't for the win.
No, that wasn't for the win.
The which play was for the win?
Play for the win was just.
It was a field goal.
That was for the win.
But yeah,
because that play set up the field goal.
So it was in overtime already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson won the game with that.
Yes, that won the game. Not to get to overtime. They're already in overtime, and then that play happened.
It was just embarrassing from the Bills. If we're just going to sum up the game, Bills were good, then they weren't. The Texans were bad, then they weren't.
I'm not gonna lie. At one point, Josh Allen looked like he was the backup quarterback he didn't play quarterback.
Josh Allen did look really shit in the second half.
He looked like a tight end that used to play quarterback in high school, and they're like, "Hey, all of our quarterbacks hurt. You want to play quarterback?" And then he went in there.
Hey, Josh, you see this football? Throw it.
Yeah, and it just looked really bad. But
he's making that pitch, the lateral he tried.
Yeah, that. I mean, like I see it. It was like he could have easily just thrown it back, and then if he would have caught it, he could have ran for some yards. I saw what he was going for, but that's a play I would hardly do in Madden. So I think if I wouldn't do it in Madden, I wouldn't try it in real life at a playoff game that is real.
Man, it kind of sucks that you actually have to say that.
Yeah.
Josh, what the fuck were you thinking, dude? Just don't do that. He got lucky because they ended up keeping the ball, but
yeah, honestly,
don't make that choice, man.
If Josh Allen had a legit arm, which I do think he has a really good arm, I just don't think he uses it enough, and I think he kind of panicked at the end of the game after running most of the game. I think if he kind of gets his arm down in his decision making and throwing plays, I think they could easily win that game. And also if they use the technique of tackle and grapple.
Let's move on. Really good game. So you guys might have seen we got our predictions up on the Twitter. I got this game wrong. I picked the Bills, and then they choked all the way and disappointed the fuck out of me.
Definitely. I was getting ready already to start saying that my bracket was intact.
Once again, I get the first game wrong.
Yep, first game wrong. But we got the second game right.
Yes, we did. That second game was the Tennessee Titans at the New England Bitches. No bias on the show.
Not at all.
Fuck the Patriots. But Jalen, they fucking did it.
Yep.
The Tennessee Titans, led by former Belichick assistant Mike Vrabel, beat the New England Patriots in New England in the playoffs. And they said it couldn't be done. But you want to know what happened?
Yeah.
It was done.
I think something I've been saying for a long time is they've always been talking about how Belichick's assistants can't beat Belichick. And one thing I've stood by this entire time is Belichick's assistants haven't beat Belichick because they try to not try the things that he taught them. And they think that if
you coach like Belichick, you're probably going to have some success.
Exactly.
That's what Mike Vrabel did.
And I think a lot of them try to like change up what they did and try like a new game plan because he knows what they're going to do because he taught it to them. And I feel like nobody's just gone at Belichick and tried to out Belichick. And that's what happened in this game. Belichick got out Belichicked by our old coach. He got out Belichick.
Hey, Belichick. Hey, Bill, get fucked. Yeah. But really good game. Maybe not by the quarterbacks.
Not at all.
But if we're looking at the run game, Derrick Henry, I think he's
King
listed.
Henry.
Birthday boy. I think he's listed on the IR with the injured back because he carried this whole team.
This whole season.
He had 34 carries, 182 yards, 1 touchdown. I think he had like a rush of like 30 yards is his long. He averaged like he was just getting chunk yardage every time he got the rock. And he
also had about like 20 yards receiving. That put him over 200 yards total for the game.
Really impressive game. Tom Brady, you could say it was a little disappointing. He went 20 for 37, about 210 yards, no touchdowns, and he had that interception return for a touchdown at the very end of the game, which iced it.
Yep, and then I also want to say something. A lot of people were giving Tony Romo crap because he was saying that the touchdown kind of helped the Patriots out. And in his defense, he was technically right. It did give the Patriots their best chance of winning because at that point, if the Titans would have picked it off and just taken a knee, they could have guaranteed the end of the game right there.
Yeah.
But with the scoring of a touchdown, you still have to kick
Patriots
the ball
still
off.
Technically had a chance.
They still have a chance for Hail Mary and stuff like that. And a lot of people were giving him crap saying this is why Tony Romo never won a Super Bowl. But
no, Tony Romo never won a Super Bowl because he played on a really shit Dallas team with no help. He wasn't an above average quarterback, but that's the best he ever was.
Yeah. But honestly, that was the best case scenario for the Patriots was to get the ball not pinned back on like their own too.
Exactly. With this game, the Pats did open up the scoring. They went down marched down the field and kicked about a 35-yarder field goal to open up the scoring, 3-0. But then right after that, the Tennessee Titans respond, and they go score a touchdown, the completion to their tight end. And with that, so the tight end for the Titans, Anthony Fersker, became the first Harvard player to score a touchdown in an NFL playoff game.
Being smart doesn't make you a good football player. I'm kidding. It does.
It does help.
Just not Harvard smart.
History was made. Good job, Fersker.
Go Yale.
Isn't Fisker. Julian Edelman, he also had a rushing touchdown. That was the most the receiving core did all night.
After Tom Brady yelling at him, Julian, get in your spot.
Was that do you think they planned that, or do you think that he was actually yelling at him?
I think, in my opinion, as a player, I think usually when I hear someone getting yelled at to get in their spot, that usually means the ball's most likely probably not going to go to them, or vice versa, they are the point of the play. So I did think that they were probably going to, in my opinion, looking at it, it looked like he was in the wrong spot. So I thought they were going to audible out of whatever play they were running because of the fact that he was out of position.
So you think Tom was legitimately yelling at him?
I think he was legitimately yelling at him. Not legitimately yelling at him. I think it was because in my mindset, if I hear somebody getting yelled at, I think that the play was going to go to them, but now they're probably most likely going to switch.
Okay.
So I think they could have been just yelling it because they wanted them to go away from Julian. Because look, Julian wasn't in the right spot. So if he wasn't set up correctly, I highly doubt Tom Brady and Belichick are going to go.
Play up, go something else.
Yeah, especially because Belichick's known for if you mess up, you're not going to touch the ball. You're not going to get play
time. Though, because Edelman had no one around him to make a tackle. That's one thing Belichick's good at. He is a good play designer.
Oh no, definitely.
Also, yeah. And Josh McDaniels too, possible coach for the Browns, possible next coach. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that in upcoming shows. But besides that, you had one of my favorite parts of the game was Mike Vrabel using Bill Belichick's tactics against him. A couple times we've seen Bill Belichick find the loophole in the rules, as he's really good at doing that. Vrabel is able to use the back-to-back delay of game loophole. And he took almost 2 minutes off the clock, and this was late in the fourth quarter.
For those of you who don't know how it was, he took a delay of game penalty, which then gives you time because the clock was running. So it allows the clock to run out.
So before 4 minutes left to go in the quarter,
yes.
The clock stays running after an offensive penalty.
Exactly. And then it's also supposed to back you up, and they needed room to punt. Mm-hmm. But since they got backed up 5, they ended up declining it so they wouldn't get backed up 5. And then after that, they let it count down, and instead of taking the delay of game again, they ended up taking a false start. And when you do a false start, there's a rule in the book that if you take 3 delay of game penalties, it is a I forget what the actual name of the penalty is. I think it's grieving. I know that's how it is in Madden, but I don't know if that's the actual name of the penalty for actual football. I'm not exactly sure what happens after you do that.
It's a very underutilized rule.
Yeah, it's a very underutilized rule, and I don't know how you would re-penalize somebody for grieving.
But essentially, this will let them to keep the clock running while taking penalties, giving them more space. And they killed about a minute 50. Then you saw Bill Belichick. Even though that's his tactic, he trademarked that move. He was over on the sideline bitching to the refs.
Yeah, and
so much 100%.
Fun to see, honestly, it could have been actually a lot worse because since they did take that false start penalty, they could have easily taken 2 more delay of game penalties, and they could have ran the clock down a lot more.
But very well coached and executed the game by the Tennessee Titans.
Definitely.
And the Patriots falter at home. And it is the end of a dynasty, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of looking like that. Julian Edelman's starting to look...
Finally.
Yeah, definitely finally. Julian Edelman's starting to look more just normal in that playbook.
They're an aging team. And we'll talk about Brady in a second.
Yeah, Brady just doesn't look like Brady of past. And, but my thing was a lot of Patriots fans were, like, burning Brady jerseys and talking about how trash the team was and how they hate this happening. And I love what Belichick said, actually, in the post-game. He was like, well, I love the fans for sticking through us with thick and thin, but there hasn't really been a lot of thin around here. It's like, yeah, you guys have a bunch of Super Bowl wins, a bunch of playoff wins in very recent years. It's not like it's just a thing that happens consistently of them losing in the playoffs. So
yeah,
it's been a lot of thick.
I think for most of NFL fans, let's hope that's the end of a dynasty. But as long as Bill Belichick's here, it's probably not over.
Most likely not. But we'll get to that later.
We will see. Moving on to the NFC, with the 2 playoff games that took place on Sunday. The first game of the day was the Vikings and Saints, and this game shocked almost everyone in the country.
Another Minnesota miracle.
Another heartbreaking Saints loss.
You like that?
That was a good one. Kirk Cousins, he actually performed well in the big game. 19 for 31.
Surprisingly.
Right? 242 yards and a touchdown. Whereas on the other side of the ball, Drew Brees had similar... He had a bad game.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, 26 for 33, 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception as well. And the Vikings offense as a whole was really disappointing. They didn't do much for the entire first half, third quarter even, and then they really only came alive in the fourth quarter when they forced it to overtime. That was great. I loved how both of the early games this weekend went to overtime.
Yeah, definitely. I like close playoff games. I kind of like because during the regular season, the only kind of games that give you that, that heart, that emotion that you want to feel are your own team's games usually. But in the playoffs, I feel like every game that's close kind of gives you that heart-stopping moment that I love to feel. And I know a lot of Saints fans were mad about how the game ended on a controversial call that could have been in pass interference. But I think, honestly, the corner himself kind of knew immediately. Because when pass interference happens and DB sees it, DBs flip out. They do a lot.
That NFL came out after and said, and I agree with it, there were contact on either side.
Exactly.
And there was enough in one way to draw a penalty.
But I think the defensive back himself knew that was too much back and forth for it to be called, which is why he took it and just walked away. But also, in my opinion, for the Saints fans who got mad that it came down to that, the team shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
Yeah, my opinion on this was when I saw that, I thought that I thought that it wasn't a penalty, but I said that it should have at least been reviewed.
Yes,
because if it was at least reviewed and then confirmed, that would have minimized a lot of the damage and controversy.
I think it's a problem right now in the NFL. A lot of game-ending plays like that that are kind of borderline. don't get reviewed enough. I think
Should've
a
been.
lot. I think a lot of refs.
It doesn't hurt to review it.
Yeah, I think a lot of refs after a point like that, they just try to get out of there because of fan backlash.
Well, they had to get out of there because fans were throwing shit at them.
But I think a lot of plays like that don't get reviewed. But I think, in my opinion, that is like kind of fans' fault because fans tend to do a lot of violent and ignorant things.
Especially Philadelphia fans.
Yes,
they're the ones that threw snowballs at Santa.
Yeah,
who the fuck does that?
When bad things happen, fans tend to become violent and ignorant, and so referees need to get off the field, which ends up being when end of the game plays happen and stuff starts getting thrown on the field. Then the refs just go, forget it. We're not going to review that. Let's just get the hell out of here.
How about don't throw shit at people?
Yeah, I feel like we learned that a long time ago.
But before the game came down to that, you had Taysom Hill putting on a show.
As always.
It was crazy to watch. Taysom Hill, he had the most passing yards through the first quarter. He was 1 for 1 with 50 yards and a touchdown.
Good stats right there.
Shit. Then rushing, he had 4 carries for 50 yards in the game. Receiving, he also had 2 catches for 25 yards and a touchdown. Taysom Hill, the ultimate Swiss Army knife in the NFL. There's no more versatile player than Taysom Hill.
Yeah, but it's not going to last because sooner or later he's going to have to take over as an actual quarterback. And when that happens,
Taysom Hill is an NFL-ready version of Tim Tebow.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's my take right there.
That's a pretty good take.
Dalvin Cook, he had a solid game for the Vikings. 28 carries, 94 yards, and 2 fat tutters. The big thing with wins is that all 4 of these, the 4 teams that won, all have really good run games.
Yeah. You got to run the ball to win this league.
Well, maybe not. So I saw the divisional matchup. You had like the Niners, the Vikings, the Titans, and then those 3 teams, 3 big playoff teams with great chances, and then the Ravens too. The theme is they all have really good run games.
And the team that is favored to win this year, which is the Ravens, has the best run game of them all. So I kind of think we see kind of a trend.
And that 2 people that could run the fuck out of the football.
Not even 2, 3, even 4. I would say Justice is also a good running back.
The Ravens are something else. But sticking with this, the game ended in overtime. Yeah, Kirk Cousins ended the game with a 43-yard pass to Adam Thielen that set up a 4-yard touchdown pass to Kyle Rudolph in the back left corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
And I was shocked.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins just pulling down his pants and just flopping it out there.
Yeah.
All over the Saints.
Yeah.
And he's making big plays.
Yeah, that was definitely a really ballsy play by Kirk and the time that it was actually needed. So, I'm proud of him.
Hey, I am a little bit of a fan of Kirk Cousins. I just like him for the "you like that" soundbite. Really good for the memes.
Really good.
I really appreciate that, Kirk.
We did.
But
like
also,
that.
I do like the Vikings as a team. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons is Ryan Schilling, one of my best buddies. He's a big Vikings fan. And I just feel bad for him.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I just like the Vikings are. I like the Vikings. I would like Vikings Titans Super Bowl.
Yeah, let's not do that. But yeah, that'd be cool.
My bracket got busted in this game. My full bracket got busted because I had the Saints win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and so
my
fuck
team's
me.
Still there.
Lucky you. Great game though. Moving on to the later game of that, it was the Seahawks and Eagles. It was a good game, but it definitely was. I'd say it was the worst game out of the 4 in terms of excitement because the Eagles. Other teams, it was close. The Eagles were just kind of shit the whole time. They had 9 points. The game ended up 17-9, and it wasn't good. Russell Wilson, of course, had a great game like usual. 18 for 30, threw it 25 yards and a touchdown. The one guy I really do feel bad for is Carson Wentz. He's never really been able to play in the playoff game his whole career. The first one, he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
And miss that, and Nick Foles take over and become the hero of Philadelphia. Steal his thunder. That's when they won the Super Bowl. Then last season, he missed last year's wildcard game against the Bears with a back problem.
Mm-hmm.
And now, after 2 offensive drives, he goes down after taking a hit from fucking
Javion Clowney.
Javion Clowney, thank you. I was thinking Whitney Merciless for because of the Texans. But Javion Clowney falls on him when he's running with the ball. Lands hard on his head. And he gets taken to the locker room, and that's the last we see of him. But I was actually kind of excited to see who else but Journeyman himself, Josh McCown, trot onto that field.
He actually didn't do terrible.
He had a decent stat-wise. It wasn't the best.
He kept them in the game.
174 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. But he did keep them in the game, as you mentioned. But also, when he was playing, he looked like he put his career on the line. He was running without fear.
You kind of feel bad for him that
he was crying after the game. I feel
it was his first playoff game.
And you could see the way he was playing, he put it all out there, and I really respect the performance that Josh McCown put on.
He did come out of retirement to do this, and
he was a high school coach. He really wasn't even supposed to be playing football.
Not at all.
Imagine if he won.
I think he easily could have. It was a couple of plays didn't go his way.
But also the thing is, he also had no one to really throw it to. No one on the defense for the Eagles. They were just riddled with injuries.
Yeah,
they were one of the weakest playoff teams we've seen in a while, and this game went almost as expected. I thought the Seahawks should have put up more points. To be honest, offensively, it was.
I was honestly surprised how close the game was.
Russell Wilson was the Seahawks' leading rusher. Marshawn Lynch was the third rusher, and it's not that good.
Not at all.
Kind of disappointing, to be honest. But we'll see when they play the next game. So those are recaps. Let's take a look ahead at the divisional round matchups. So we're gonna have in the AFC, it's gonna be Titans at Ravens, and then the Texans at Chiefs. Titans Ravens. Who you taking in this one?
I'm going with Ravens in that one because I have the Ravens winning the Super Bowl.
I also have the Ravens winning this one. The Titans are good, but they just don't have the talent level that the Ravens do.
I think it's
on all 3 phases of the football.
I think the Titans have to run the ball to win the game, and I think the Ravens run the ball better than they do. So I feel like the Ravens are just going to outrush them, or even better, let's see Lamar Jackson outthrow them.
I think the Ravens definitely have a better defense than the Patriots,
definitely.
And they're going to have a lot more success with stopping King Henry.
Also, I think that if it ends up coming down to it and just an offensive game, I think that the Ravens offense definitely have more weapons.
The Ravens could just put more points,
Exactly.
I agree with you. Texans and Chiefs, I think this is going to be a closer game than what people make it out to be. I think the Texans actually gives the Chiefs a run for their money. But I still think the Chiefs somehow pull this out because Patrick Mahomes.
Tyreek Hill's going to have 250-plus yard touchdowns.
I really hope you're wrong. But I'm rooting for the Texans, but I'm picking the Ravens and Chiefs. The 1 and 2 seeds probably going to win this week.
Travis Kelce is going to win the game for the Chiefs.
Ooh. Can we see something ironic and actually have the Chiefs' defense win the game for them?
The Chiefs will score a special teams touchdown.
Okay, Jen with the bold predictions, but you're also going the 1 and 2 seeds.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the NFC, we got the Seahawks at the Packers and Vikings at the Niners. I like the Seahawks in their matchup with the Packers. The one difficulty is that they are going to have to be playing at Lambeau in January, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But I think the Seahawks are a little overrated, but I still think I think the Packers are a really weak 2 seed.
Yeah.
And I think the Seahawks have all it takes to beat them.
The Seahawks are going to choke the game away in the 4th.
So you're picking the Packers?
Yeah, I got the Packers winning it.
All right. Vikings.
It's going to be a Packers win off of like a fumble or it's going to be some type of turnover or mess up that ends up leading to the Packers scoring late.
Wouldn't that be brutal? Next, we have the Vikings and Niners. Who's taking this one?
Minneapolis Miracle.
Again.
Yes.
Will we consider this part 3?
Yep, and then Kirk Cousins is going to choke inside the championship game.
You really hate Vikings fans, don't you?
Yep.
What did they do to you, Jalen?
They existed.
Hey, I don't side with him. If you're a Vikings fan and you have a problem, you have it with Jalen. Go Vikings.
Well, technically, I said
Skull
they're going to win
Vikings.
this week. I just don't think they're going to win the week after that against the Packers.
You gotta get the Vikings fans' hopes up, only to crush them even more.
Because if they win this week and the other games go the way I think they will, they'll be playing the Packers in January in Lambeau.
And then Kirk Cousins wins it.
Nah.
No, but I'm going with the Seahawks. But in this game, I think it's going to be really close. I think the Vikings actually have a decent shot of winning this one. But I still think that the Niners are going to pull it off. They're pretty damn good this year. So I'm going, for the weekend as a whole, I'm going Ravens, Chiefs, Seahawks, and Niners. And you're going Ravens, Chiefs, Packers, and Niners.
Yep.
Just taking the home team all the way through.
Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have his worst game of the season.
I could see that. Before we end the show, we want to just discuss big. Everyone's giving their hot takes, so are we? Tom Brady, was this his last game in a Patriots uniform after this weekend?
No.
He goes back to the Patriots next season.
Belichick's going to leave.
Brady stays, but Belichick leaves.
Yeah, I think Brady kind of especially in that post-game interview, he said that he loves the Patriots and he plans on staying, which usually means that a player is going to leave when they say that because they're usually lying to you. I think Brady stays and Belichick decides to go. Yeah.
Here, let me give you this breakdown, Jalen.
Right.
All right, so we're going to have Philip Rivers leaves the Chargers. Mm-hmm. He's going to become the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers next season. Mm-hmm. So, Tom Brady, he's going to sign with the Los Angeles Chargers because the Chargers are losing the war right now in LA. And they're moving to the brand new stadium next year. And we know they're the number 2 team. The Rams are the number 1 team. But you want to know what sells jerseys and gets people in seats? Tom Brady. Whether you like him or hate him, love him or hate him, he's going to sell tickets, and he's going to put people in seats, and he's going to sell jerseys. That's why the Chargers need him. So the Patriots are going to have a hole at quarterback. So you want to know who else is going to be a free agent and could be a good fit up there in Foxborough? Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater signs with the New England Patriots. So we're going to have Brady to the Chargers, Philip Rivers to the Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater to the Patriots.
Brady's going to throw 16 interceptions next year.
And Cam Newton to the Bears.
Yep.
Dramatic effect, pause.
Yeah, I feel that.
If Matt Nagy and their GM are smart enough, they're going to move on from Mitch and give Cam Newton a shot.
Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the quarterback for the Bears or the Buccaneers. Those are my 2 choices.
Ooh, I think Jameis... I love that shot Bruce Arians gave to Jameis. So if we could win with him, we could win with anyone.
Yup.
It's brutal.
But I feel like Jameis is going to throw 10 interceptions in the first 3 weeks of the NFL, and he's going to get benched.
You know what? Honestly, that wouldn't be half surprising. Any other hot takes you want to give us real quick?
Jameis Winston likes crab legs.
I don't think that's a hot take.
It is if the legs is hot with the butter.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap things up for today. Thank you so much. Yes, John.
Phillip Rivers is going to retire after next season.
Philip Rivers is going to have 10 more children.
2.
Yeah, that's fair. But we're going to wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Long Radio, capital F, capital L, capital R. Or follow us over on the Instagram that is 4TH and Long Radio.
Lamar Jackson is going to throw for 300 yards in one of the next 2 games.
He's throwing for at least 350. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to us. Please reach out on Twitter, DMs, comments, and do what you want. Give us some feedback. A little interaction never hurt.
Great start to the year, guys. It's been amazing so far.
Got that tweet over 500 likes. It's so easy just making fun of Booker.
We broke some of our page highs on almost all of our social medias.
It's that Rocky Mountain high.
Yeah, at the end of the year, and then just start off the year, we're breaking records on all of our social medias.
It's much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Because it's not us. Because we get to put the material out there, but if no one reacts to it and looks at it, then nothing happens.
Thank you, fuckers. You mean a lot to us.
You guys are fuckers. We love you.
Have a great rest of your day. Everyone who listened, thank you so much. And we will catch you guys in the next show.
Love ya.